All right, let me get the lights adjusted and whatnot. We'll go ahead and get started. So they're going to flick and then recess lighting. There we go. All right. Semester's winding down, isn't it? Week 12 of the Freshman Engineering Seminar. One more week of this, and then it's off to have some turkey, right? You all excited or anything? Okay, all right. I know it's Friday and whatnot, but I wanted everybody to, be fired up. Okay. A little bit of or a few announcements, brief announcements for you. Okay, so don't forget your meeting schedules for your student organizations. Steel Bridge is meeting pretty regularly now. They're meeting every other Monday in EL 101. SAME ASC, of course, is still meeting, as well as the Mechanical Club. Now, I don't have my hyperlink in the slide yet. I'll have it on there when I upload the slide to Blackboard. But SAME ASC is doing an apparel sale. They're selling things like fleece pullovers and polos and things like that. They'll have Marshall Engineering logos and whatnot, and all of the sales, you can do it online with your debit card or credit card or anything like that. So if anybody's interested in whatnot, you'll have the link there. All of the sales, I think they're trying to have everything concluded by the Friday after break, so December 2nd. So if you're interested in getting anything for yourself or your parents or anything like that, or maybe they'll buy something for you and what have you, everything will be made available on there. It's a pretty nifty system. It's pretty quick. All right. Also, don't forget, we're going to have a quiz this week. We didn't have a quiz last week because I wanted you all to take time to meet with your faculty advisors and get preparing your course schedule for next semester. So we are going to get back on schedule with that. The quiz this week, of course, is going to close Friday at 11, like they always do. Any questions? All right. Normally we have a faculty presenter present before our main speaker. Our faculty isn't here yet, so he might show up later. So I'm going to go ahead and turn it over to our main speaker. Just a quick intro. We have Beth Waugh from the, did I say that right? Waugh. Okay. All right. She's from the Marshall University Career Services Center. We'll take a wild guess and say that you all would maybe like to have a job when you get out of here. Am I right? Okay. All right. So what she's going to do is talk to you about some of the resources that are available to you as Marshall University students in the pursuit of internships, co-ops, careers, and what have you. So you'll really want to pay close attention to what she's going to be talking about today. So everybody, let's give Beth a round of applause. I'll pull this up for you.
Okay. This is very intimidating. So y'all kind of be nice to me, okay? I have to put this on. This is overwhelming. Okay, so I was trying to count as I came in, and I think I got up to number 12 females in the room. Is that about right? Are there more? Does anybody know how many?
There's a few more. I don't know if they're here today.
Okay, all right. So, ladies, I'm going to talk to you for a minute and exclude the male in the room. If you all stick through engineering and go through to the end, you'll definitely get a job. So you're in the right field. So you're definitely, females are normally minority. You're really a minority in engineering. So that's really good. So stick it out. I was proud to see some females in here. Because I present, has anybody heard me before or seen me in any other classes? I didn't see any familiar faces when I came in. Has anybody heard me before or anything? Okay. Because I go talk to Dr. Nichols' classes and Huffman's classes, like some of the upper level engineering classes, like when you all get toward the end and you're going toward your internships and your jobs. And by the time I get up there, it seems like I see no ladies. And so I was really excited to come to this class and actually see some female faces. So please, if you all can persevere, yay, I give you a round of applause. Okay, so today I'm just going to kind of talk about what we do in career services and kind of give you an overview about what we do. And if you guys have any questions, stop me along the way. I'm going to kind of click out of here a few times. And, okay, thank you. And go to a couple of external websites and show you some stuff. So if you have any questions, let me know. It's just kind of be brief and an overview. Is everyone in here a freshman? Raise your hand if you're not. Also, quite a few. Keep your hand raised if you're a sophomore. Do I have anybody in here above a sophomore? Keep your hand raised if you're above a sophomore. Keep your hand raised if you're a junior. Do I have any seniors? Wow, Okay, all right. So kind of a hodgepodge of freshmen, sophomores in here. Okay. So does anybody know where Career Services is located on campus? Raise your hand if you know where we're located. I imagine not a few. It's okay if you don't know. It's not, you're not going to fail. Okay. So when you're on Fifth Avenue, driving down Fifth Avenue, everybody knows where the Student Center is, right? Has anybody been in the Jones C. Edwards Playhouse across the way? Oh, you had to for freshman orientation, right? When you had to go to that fun sex signals class that y'all had to go to and listen to. We're located right beside that in the brown house beside Harless. Y'all got to go eat, right? So we're located right there. Okay, so this is kind of an overview of what we're going to do, okay? And then I'm going to talk about it more in depth, but we have our own database, our own job database that we pay to be a part of, and it's called NACE, and it's the National Association of Colleges and Employers. So when you get out and you go to try to find a job, you can use this as a Marshall student, okay? And it has other jobs out there than you'll find like on Indeed or Monster, Career Builder, stuff like that. And as a Marshall student and a Marshall alumni, you can use NACE all the time, okay? So it's important to keep that, okay? We have job tracks, which I'll show you. But one thing that we do that most of the students on campus utilize us the most for is we help you prepare your documents for your jobs. For your jobs, your internships, we'll help you with your resumes, your cover letters, anything like that. And usually in the STEM field, you guys don't have a lot of like courses geared toward like business writing and stuff like that. So a lot of times you all come to us and we kind of try to help you with that. So we do a lot of document reviews. And then we also try to help you for those internships. We'll do like mock interviews and try to help you with that. I know we do a lot with Dr. Nichols' class, okay? So we try to help you with that. Now, in order to graduate, a lot of you all, are you required to have internships or is it just recommended? Highly recommend. I can remember because I know when I go to a lot of the upper classes, they generally have internships. Didn't know if it was required or recommended. Because you're going to stand out when you go to get a job. If you have an internship on that resume, you'll be called in for an interview over others who do not. Okay, so that's really, really important on that resume that you try to get an internship. Okay? All right. Now, one of the newer things to us and to Marshall University is something called Focus 2, and I'm going to show that to you here in a minute. So you log in through MyMU, but it's for you guys who, I don't know, maybe you've sat through this class this semester, especially you freshmen, if you're a freshman, or maybe even a first semester sophomore, and you decided you hate engineering. I'm sorry. But if you don't like engineering, or you decided that maybe you might like the STEM field, but engineering isn't quite for you, or maybe you're struggling in that calculus class, and you're hating calculus, and so engineering maybe is not going to be that thing for you. So we have a new product called Focus 2, and you can go in and take it and decide on, it's a great, great career assessment. And I've used several career assessments over my time. This is one of the best that I've seen, and I'll kind of show you where it is and how to use it. So even if you want to go in and maybe you can't decide if you're more civil, if you're more mechanical, or maybe if you want to go into safety, or if you want to go into electrical, or what you want to do, maybe this will help you decide on that path as well. So I'll show you how to go in and use that, and you can do it. It takes maybe 30 minutes. It's not very long. So you all should go in there and do it just in your, I know, don't do it right now when you're working on finals and doing all that stuff, but just after the semester's rolling around. You might want to do it now that registration's coming around. If you can't really decide what you want to do, you might want to pop in there and take it. And then if you don't understand how to read it, you can pop in our office and we can kind of help you read the results, okay? Because it's not really that difficult to do. Okay, like I say, we can help you with your online stuff through job tracks. Who has been to a career fair? Because I can tell you, as you get into your upper level engineering, you'll probably be required to go to a career fair by your professors. They really, really push that. And when we have career fairs on campus, we have a lot seeking engineers, okay? And when you come to career fairs, you'll want to bring your resumes with you. Who knows that there's such a thing as resume bond paper? Good. It's the older people in the room. You young folks don't know stuff like this. It's like all this is lost on young people. So when you all go to stuff like this, there's such a thing called resume bond paper, and we'll print those for you when you go to career fairs, okay? We'll print up to 10 copies. So when you go to career fairs and you go to sell yourself, we'll print that stuff for you, okay? And what about resumes when you do resumes? You want to target those for specific jobs, and we can help you do that too. So it's really, really important, okay? So I'm going to get out of here for just a minute and go to MyMU, hopefully, if it works. Sometimes I get aggravated with MyMU. Is anybody in this student picture? Has any freshmen found themselves? Yes, it's kind of fun to go in there and find yourselves, right? The only one I can really find is Dr. Gilbert. Okay, so here on MyMU, I don't know how to use this pointer. Do I just point? Is that? Oh, okay, cool. Okay, so here on MyMU, all these like little launch pads or whatever. So here's job tracks over here. Has anybody been on job tracks as a Marshall student? Yes? Yes, raise your hands, because if y'all talk at the same time, it'd be overwhelming. Okay, so here's job tracks. So if I go into job tracks, and hopefully it'll work, hopefully I'll be a student and not a manager, yes. So if you go into job tracks, the only things you all need to worry about now at your level is that if you go in under jobs, there are so many options, and I don't know why they do this because I don't really agree with how it's set up, but we can't set it up. It's set up externally for us, and we don't have a say-so. But if you go in under here, you want to go always under this last one where it says extended job search. Even if you're looking in Huntington or Charleston, doesn't matter. Go into extended. But you can look for internships in here. When you're going to look for your internships, you can look for regular jobs. But this takes you to the external NACE site, which is what you want, okay? And then it looks like a regular Indeed or a Monster or Career Builder or something like that, and you can put your where and your what. And it's a really great resource, okay? And you can use that throughout your Marshall career, and like I say, even as alumni. So you really want to pay attention to that and use that one and not the other ones. One other thing you want to really look for in job tracks, in my opinion, is under here, under shortcuts, under the second one is all on-campus interviews. We often have employers come in and interview students. We call it OCR, which is on-campus recruiting, and they'll interview students for jobs. This could be engineers. It could be part-time jobs if you're looking for a part-time job, but it's just random who we have in there. So if you just get on there occasionally and click on it and see who's coming, like we just had, it doesn't apply to you guys, but we just had 11 accounting firms come in and interview for accounting positions, internships, and all kinds of stuff, and they were all under here. So now we have C.I. Thornburg Company coming for sales interns. So it's just random, so if you click on that, it will tell you who's coming. To me, that's really one of the most important things that we do. And then we have, if you want to do career fairs, you would click under events, our past career, I don't know if it's on there now since it's past. Oh yeah, so our career fair was on there. So what I always tell students when I'm going to classes, if you click on the career fair, and hopefully since it's past it'll be on here, if you scroll on down, it will tell you who's coming. Let me click my little red button. Okay, it'll tell you who's coming, and it will tell you the majors. So you all would look for engineering, safety, you know, whatever the case may be, it will tell you who's coming, and then you could go and narrow it down, because if you've ever been to a career fair, it is so flipping overwhelming. You go in there, there's like 80, 90 people in the room, there's like a gazillion students, and you get overwhelmed because everybody's there, you're walking through. So if you know exactly who you're looking for, do sit down for 15, 20 minutes beforehand and you know who you're going to, it saves a heck of a lot of time so you can get in and get out, okay? So I highly suggest doing that. I find what our students, the Marshall University students, use the most is the Documents tab. And under Documents, you can upload your, anything really. You can upload your resume, you can upload your cover letter, you can upload your transcripts, you can upload anything, and we'll review it for you and send you back advice, whether it's okay, not okay, and you can apply for jobs through here too, and you can link your resume. So you just click under pending, and you click, and you are so tech savvy, I'm going to show you new stuff. You click on add new, and you click what it is, whether it's a resume, a cover letter, transcript, and choose your file and submit it. And I usually do them. I'm the one who usually reviews them. Sometimes a GA does, but I normally do the most of them. And then I'll send you back whether it's okay or not okay. I may ask you to resubmit it if it's not great, and you'll have to resubmit it again, and then it'll be approved. Okay? So that's pretty much, I'm not going to go through all the other stuff because I don't really think you need to see it. But do you have any questions about that? Anybody? Or has anybody used it that didn't like it or have questions about it at all?
I have a question.
Uh-huh.
If they turn in, you have like resume workshops where you have folks there that can review a resume.
Yeah.
Do they turn it in, and then is there a time which like should they expect? Like, give us a week and we'll review it, give us a day and we'll review it?
It's usually within 24 hours.
Okay.
Yeah. Normally, on heavy times, it could be like career fair times, it's usually 48, but usually 24 hours.
Is that, when you give it back to us, do you say like what's wrong with it, or do you say it's unacceptable?
We say exactly, we give you bullet points with what's wrong. Yeah. Any other questions? Okay. Okay, so also on your looking glass or on your launch pad, here is Focus 2, that career assessment. I can't get in this way because I'm a manager of the site, so I'm going to go in another way, but it will look exactly the same way as what yours would look like, okay? So I'm going to go to the student side. Okay, so when you guys log in there, this is exactly what it looks like. This top part where it says my career planning readiness and my academic strengths, you can ignore. You do not have to fill that out because to me it's busy work and it doesn't mean anything unless you actually just want to get in there and play around. And feel free if you have free time to do that, okay? But to me, I would just rather do what's important and move on because we're all busy and we don't have a lot of free time on our hands, okay? But here are the assessments that are important: the work and values, personality, skills, and leisure. Even if you don't want to do all 5, don't if you don't feel like you have the time. But the most important 3, if you just want to do 3, are work interest, personality, and skills. So if you just want to stick to 3, that's perfectly okay. But make sure you get those in because those are the most 3 that's going to gear you toward career, okay? And when you click on one, it's so easy. You just click start, and they're star rated. So you just click, you're not at all interested, slightly, very high. You just go through here and click. It doesn't matter. And you just continue, and you just go through. It is so stinking easy. You know, a first grader could do it. And then when you're done, you just hit combine assessments, and then it should give you some job occupations. And so if you're really undecided or not sure what kind of career you want to go into or what specialty you want to go to within engineering, it should kind of help you a little bit, okay? If you don't understand how to read the assessments, we can help you there. And if you go down a little bit, it will tell you, and this is what I really like about this, it says, what can I do in a major at Marshall University? So if there is a major you're really interested in, So if you're interested in civil engineering, for example, and you click on that, it's going to tell you all the things within engineering you should be able to do and give you now this is the mean salary. So it may not be a West Virginia salary, but it gives you the mean salary. And then you can click on that and kind of navigate through it. So I really, really like this Focus 2. It's one of the best resources we've had at Marshall, I feel like. So if you just get in there and play around, you should be able to find a lot of good things. All right, I'm going to shut up for a minute. Who has questions? Anybody about it?
So if we went to the Career Center about like trying to choose something, would they just tell us to do this?
They would tell you to do this first and then chat. Yes, that would be our first step probably. Yes. Other questions? Good? Perfect? Okay. Okay, so I talked a little bit about expos already. So we have our Career Expo, and it's primarily goes for full-time jobs and some internships. So if you are trying to decide what you want to do, what career fairs to go to on campus, the career fair is full-time jobs and internships. The Jobapalooza that we do, it's more toward part-time jobs. So if you are a Marshall student and you're wanting to work 15, 20 hours a week while you're a student and you don't have a part-time job, Jobapalooza is kind of your thing. There are some internships there, but not as much as the career fairs, okay? So if you are a student and you're really looking for an internship in your field, then the career fair is where you need to go, okay? So that's kind of those. All right, etiquette dinners are really important to some of the engineering faculty. So as you progress through your field, this may come up to you guys, so I just kind of want to touch on it briefly. I'm not really going to go into it a whole lot, but you may be required to go because we had numerous engineering students at the one we just had a few weeks ago. Did anybody in here go? I see some hands in the back. Okay. What did you all think of it? Did you learn a lot? Did you think it was fun, boring, stupid? It was okay? Okay. Well, how was the food? The food's pretty good, right? So the food's pretty good. So it's a free meal. It's like a 4-course meal, and it's free. So if you're a Marshall student, I always say this. If you're a Marshall student on a dining plan, you should definitely go because it's better than what you're ever going to get on campus, okay? So it's just we have a professional consultant come in that kind of teach you how to navigate a professional meal because if you go listen, my kids are the same way. If I had my kids go and kind of sit down with someone in the corporate world and sit down at a meal, they would not know exactly what side to put the bread, what side to put their drinks, where to stick their purse, ladies. You know, what is acceptable, what's not acceptable. So it's kind of fun, and it's just a good night out. So you may be required to do this later on in your career. I'm just letting you know, okay? So, we do it, it's gotten so popular, we've gone up to 2 settings, and then we talked about doing 3 settings in the spring because it's gotten so popular. We had to turn away several students this year, so it's kind of fun. Do y'all have any questions about that at all? No? Okay. All right. So we do a lot of interview development in our office, which to me is really kind of fun because I like interviewing students and finding out where they're from, what they're all about, what they're interested in. But the one thing you guys need to think about right now as freshmen and sophomore, juniors, and even some of our seniors in here is you have to get down your elevator pitch, your 30-second commercial, whatever you want to call it. I don't care what it is, but you need to be able to start introducing yourself to other people. Whether even it's your professors, you go out and you try to get that internship. Who knows what networking is? Yes, who can explain what it is in common terms? Exactly. Because how do you guys think the majority of people apply for jobs in today's world? How? Huh? That's not how the majority of people apply for jobs. How do you think the majority of people apply for jobs today? Online, on the internet. It's like 70-some% of people apply for jobs online. How many of those, how do you think employers hire people? They ask about them, but do you think the majority of people of them hire via online? They don't. The majority of the people hire by who they know, okay? So networking becomes very, very important. So who is in your network? Who is your network made up of? Yes, and who might be the people you know? If you're a freshman, if you're a sophomore, who lives on campus? Not too many, okay? So who's in your network, especially you commuters who are driving back and forth, so you're in your own little bubble all the time, primarily. So who's in your network? Or how can you expand your network? Professors are great. Who else? Talking to people in class. How else? Joining clubs is fantastic. So it's who you know, who they know, and that is primarily how you get internships. A lot of internships are not put out there online. They're not put on our database. It's primarily who you know and who they know, and by professors, okay? So it's growing that database. It's growing that network, okay, and putting yourself out there. So you have to have this elevator pitch. So when you say, "Hi, I'm Beth, who are you?" What are you going to say? Exactly. So you need to say, "Hi, I'm so-and-so. I'm a blank at Marshall University majoring in blah, 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 blah," whatever that is. And then you need to give a little bit of something about yourself, just so they'll be able to recognize you, okay? So you've got to be able to do this. Does anybody in here consider themselves an introvert? Because when I was at Marshall and I was a freshman, sophomore, I was definitely an introvert. I was not an extroverted person. So if someone came up and introduced themselves to me, I would probably hide away in a hole somewhere, okay? So you've got to be able to just give a little bit about yourself, maybe where you're from, what your major is, why you're majoring in it, okay, and what you might want to do with it. So think about that. Be prepared to say it, especially at career fairs, because if you just go up and say, "Hi, I'm Beth, here's my resume," and you walk away, they are not going to call you back because they're not going to remember you in the 400, 500 people that they see all day, okay? So you really have got to think about developing this elevator speech, 30-second commercial, whatever you guys want to call it, okay? Questions about that at all? Who thinks they have a good network? If you guys had to have a job tomorrow, if Marshall University closed its doors tomorrow, other than you all yelling victory, do you all think that you all could get a job tomorrow by your network? I imagine a lot of people could not. So think about that. Think about growing your network, okay? Okay, so I talked about on-campus recruiting. Okay. All right. So I made you excited. I made you talk, right? Okay. All right. Now, what's my time? How am I doing? Okay. So let's talk about LinkedIn real quick. Who in here has Facebook? Who has Twitter? Yes? Who has Instagram? Yeah, that's what I thought. Who has Snapchat? I love you all. Okay. Who has LinkedIn? Ha-ha. Okay. So, who knows what LinkedIn is? Who didn't raise their hands? Who knows what it is? Okay, can you explain what it is? Do y'all know what it is? Yeah, it's a business professional social media account, okay? So, okay, what do you guys do? If you're out in a club or you meet somebody at the mall and you have a new name, you meet somebody in class and you have a new name, what's the first thing you do about this person? What do you do? You look them up, right? You're just like, oh, I've got to look them up, find out who this person is, to try to find out all their bio and information. Well, when you go to apply for a job or an internship, that is the very first thing they're going to do about you. And believe it or not, there are programs out there that Human Resources has that they can backwall Facebook, they can backwall Instagram, and they can do all this stuff. So even if you make your accounts private, they're not private, okay? But if you have a LinkedIn account that's professional and it's online, so when they Google your name, it's very nice for them to be able to pull it up and have a professional profile online that somebody can see immediately. Juniors and seniors, you really need to start thinking about this. Freshmen and sophomore, not so much right now, but really juniors and seniors, you need to start researching this, okay? I would suggest you write down this name if you're interested in LinkedIn. I am not a LinkedIn professional. But Jennifer Brown in our office is great at LinkedIn, and she will sit down with students for as long as you need and help you set up your account. What's it called? LinkedIn for Students app? Awesome. My husband uses LinkedIn for jobs. They send him jobs all the time, and LinkedIn is a good way to network too, because when you guys graduate, do you guys want to stay in Huntington, some of you? Because some of you probably do for family reasons, I would think, or some of you. Who wants to move away? LinkedIn is a good resource for that. So you can link in with the companies wherever they are. You also may want to network with Marshall alumni who's in that area and to see if they know somebody and start building your network that way. So it can be a good way to start networking as well. So start thinking about that as you get to be juniors, seniors, okay? So I want to show you our website real quick. Has anybody in here been on our site? Yes? Yeah. By accident, that makes me feel so good. Oh, wait, I may have to exit out. Did it open up down here somewhere? Okay. Okay, so here's our website. So let me show you, if you're on here, to me, it's the easiest thing to just go on the bottom where it says I'm a student, since that's what you guys are, and click on I'm a student down here. If you need help, this is what the majority of students go on here for. If you click on resume help at the bottom, it's the only hyperlink that's there. It's the only thing in green. So if you click on that at the bottom, it gives you all of these great resources for writing your documents and your cover letters and your references. So I kind of wrote the resume examples for freshmen and sophomores, and I wrote the one for juniors and seniors and grad students. If you guys are writing resumes, does everybody in here have a basic resume? Yeah? Did anybody use a Word template to do it? Raise your hand if you did. Has anybody gotten back in to edit the Word template? If you do, they're often a bear to edit. They are so difficult. Setting them up the first time is really easy, but then going back to edit's really hard. So we've put these on here to make them kind of easy for you, okay? And employers, believe it or not, when you go to apply for these things, they can tell and see these Word templates, okay, because they're just monotonous and they look the same. Sometimes the font is really little and you all don't think about increasing it, so when you send them out to employers, they can't read the stinking thing, okay? So we've kind of put these on here to try to counteract everything that the Word template's on there, to try to make it professional for you, to help you when you send out these resumes for your internships or your jobs, okay? And it just has some other skills on there for you. And if you want anything else, there's other things on here for LinkedIn or first-year seminars or stuff, okay? So I just wanted to point that out to you. Okay. All right. I think that was it. I'm almost to the end. All right. So any other questions that you have for me about anything? It doesn't even have to be about what I talked about. Anything else that deals with careers or internships, whatever that you guys can think of, and gals that you have. Work it, what do you mean?
If we have a part-time job already, how would we go about trying to get an internship while doing that?
While doing that, honestly, you would have to work that out with your manager, whomever that you have a part-time job with, and see. Because sometimes students have to not work while they have their internship. And the majority of students really try to do their internship in the summer. And a lot of the internships are paid. So, go ahead.
Well, I was going to say one thing to add to that. I think you probably need to do a little bit of weighing, your job versus your internship. I mean, I'm not knocking a job at like a restaurant or something like that, but if it's a job at are you civil, mechanical?
Computer science.
Computer science. Okay. So if it was a choice between an internship at the CIA versus a job at a restaurant, you see what I mean? I'll be honest, even if it's not paid, I mean, what's going to be more value to you in your career? And you got to think long term.
Yeah, as long as you're able to live. Yeah.
Well, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, but a lot of the internships are paid, especially the summer ones are paid. So you'll be able to still have some cost of living there. Yeah. Yeah. Who else? I saw.
Right here. I think there was one somewhere in the back. I thought I saw somebody's hand.
Okay.
Go ahead.
So like you have state internships, who you apply to, do y'all have that on your website?
The DOH. I know that when the DOH prepares all of their application costs, they do this on an annual basis. We'll email blast everybody in engineering. I know that. I don't think they're ready yet.
Yeah.
I think it's honestly won't come out until maybe December or January.
Yeah, and I'm going to say the engineering people are great about sending out their email blasts for internships and stuff like that. We rarely see engineering folks. We do see computer science folks, but we rarely see engineering folks because you all send out blasts all the time.
If you see an email from Dawn Rayburn, who's our administrative assistant in engineering, pay attention to it, okay? Because it's only going to benefit you, okay? It's worth a read, I promise.
Okay, somebody else have a question? Was there somebody else with a hand up? Yes.
Okay, so you said that you're basically more likely to get a job if you have like internships. But what if you like can't get an internship? Like how bad is it going to affect your how you get a job? Like your likelihood of getting a job if you don't have an internship?
Have you heard of something called transferable skills? No? Okay, transferable skills is taking what you've done at your whatever job you have, at your part-time job, and looking at the qualifications of the job you're applying for and seeing what you've done and try to work them in a way that they are similar and read the same. So a lot of people, even if you're a waiter or a waitress or a busboy or something like that, like a lot of times I'll see on a resume, wait tables or bus tables or customer service. Well, what does that mean? So you need to think about transferable skills such as work in a fast-paced environment, able to multitask, good time management skills. So think about what you've done at your current part-time job, even if it's not an internship, and what transferable skills you might have to a new job. Does that make sense?
One thing, let me add something to that. I'm a civil engineer, so I can only speak to the civil engineering students. But the entire time that I've been a faculty here at Marshall, unless I'm completely missing the boat on something, I have not seen one of our civil engineering graduates of our program leave here without a job. Okay? In some fashion or another, they're getting a job. Now, they're just starting out. It may not be, that perfect job within engineering that they want. But I haven't seen an engineering student graduate at Marshall who didn't have a job. Okay. One point I will make, and it's in regard to the DOH internship. When it comes to the DOH internship, I mean they have a set number of slots, but they have quite a few of them. And a lot of times their selection process, I mean don't get me wrong, they give the seniors preference over the juniors preference over the sophomores, etc. internship late and you wait a month to turn your application in, you're going to be putting that farther down on the list. So one of the things that can increase your chances, I'm just talking about that particular instance, but get your stuff in on time. I can tell you just as a fact, that's one of their major sifting mechanisms. So.
Well, and I do know that we get salary predictors and we get job outlook predictors in our office and that sort of thing. And one of the highest growing fields for the class of 2016, of course we don't know about 17, but one of the highest growing fields for the class of 2016 is computer science and engineering. So you all are definitely in the right STEM fields. So I don't really see you all having a hard time when you graduate finding a job. What we have found from our Marshall University students is that they're picky. So when they get out, they may not want to start at that entry-level position, or they may get out thinking that they're going to make $100,000 with 5 weeks vacation or something like that. So they don't realize that even though they have this awesome degree in this awesome field, that they might have to work their way up. But that's just kind of life. And so really that's what we have found the majority of the time from our students.
One point I want to add, and it relates to something that she discussed earlier, this Focus 2 tool through MyMU. I'll just tell you a real quick story. So I had a student, this actually happened a few days ago. One of my advisees came to me and they said that they weren't really interested in engineering and they were going to change their major. And of course I'm like, what's wrong with you? Engineering's the best field ever. I'm kidding. But they said what they were going to do was go into safety. Okay, we started talking about it, and then after digging into it, the student really wanted to go into digital forensics, and we started digging a little more. And the only reason he wasn't going into digital forensics was some admissions issue that he was going to have to wait a semester. I'm thinking, this is your passion. This is what you want to do for the rest of your life, and you're telling me you're going to hold off to go to 1 semester? This is your life. This is your passion. Find your passion and attack it. If your passion isn't engineering, well, we can talk about that later. No, I'm just kidding. No, but whatever your passion is, explore it. And if it's in computer science, or safety, or digital forensics, or what have you, that's what you need to be doing. I mean, don't get me wrong. I got lucky and fell in love with engineering, but that's me. If that's not you, don't do it. Go find what your passion is and explore it. Tools like that, resources like her, resources like your advisor, that's what we're here for, okay? That's what we're trying to do. So take advantage of it, seriously. That's what this is for.
Do y'all have anything else for me? Any other questions? If you want to come in, sometimes we are available and you can just pop in, yeah. But if we're busy, they may make an appointment for the next day or two. So it could be either way. Either way. Anything else? Nope. Okay. I have handouts. I'm going to stick them in the back if y'all want to grab them on your way out. But that's all I have.
All right. First off, a couple of items of housekeeping. But before let's give her a round of applause.
Thank you all.